in my head, and girl, I don't know what to call it. So if you ain't quick again,
fuck your life! Bing bong!
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the DJ Lex on the beat, you feel me? Nope, it's not gonna work. AKA Mopar, y'all know the vibes, man. We back with another reaction video. Now listen. Y'all running my views up, and I appreciate y'all and love y'all. But please hit that subscribe button. We almost at like what, 250? We almost at 250 subs. I'm trying to get to 100,000. So please smash that subscribe button. It means the world to me. I love y'all so much. And without further ado, I wanted to switch it up. I'm sorry. I know it's not the regular Aiden Ross, Kai, and shit like that. But I wanted to switch it up. So let's get into the reaction, bruh.
Smuggling is the process of moving illegal goods out of one country and into another. Given that those goods are unlawful, smugglers have to get pretty inventive with how they transport them. And they do. From cigarettes in tree trunks to goods strapped to people, here are 15 of the smartest smugglers in all history.
Now, I know a lot of people do not approve of this shit and shit like that, but listen. Everybody is not fortunate to have what a lot of people have, which is education, to go to school and all this other stuff. And I'm going to just say this right now. Not a lot of people can afford that shit. Nigga, I'm a college dropout. Facts. I'm just saying. But you feel me? A lot of people don't got it like some people. And you feel me? Like people got to ease up. But these people, let's see how creative they are. That's what I want to see. Shout out to the finest.
Number 15. Cigarettes inside tree trunks. A+ for effort. Russian smugglers.
We about to learn so much from this vid. So you're telling me they gut the tree out and then they stuff that motherfucker in it? That's smart, bro.
We're trying to think of a way to smuggle cigarettes manufactured in Belarus to Poland, which would then be moved to Germany and then the UK. They decided one of the best methods would be to hollow out tree trunks and stuff packets inside. What they probably didn't anticipate was that the real trees would be a lot heavier than those stuffed with cigarettes. Customs officers at the Yagodin checkpoint at the Ukrainian-Polish border decided to carry out a random check and discovered that one of the trunks had been hollowed out.
Oh, shit.
On closer inspection, they noticed that heaps of them had been hollowed out. They said it was almost impossible to tell the difference, but the weight was a dead giveaway that something wasn't quite right. Inside 27 tons of timber, 55 tree trunks were tampered with and contained 25,000 packets of cigarettes. The find was made on the Ukrainian side of the border, and guards used chainsaws to cut into the logs. The cigarettes were tightly packed inside. You gotta hand it to the smugglers. They really put on their thinking caps for this job.
Facts.
Before we go on, this video,
that is really smart. I am not going to lie. Oh yeah, please, like I said, please like and subscribe if you're new. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to go on 100K. I'm trying to hit that one. I want to get that plaque and put it right here like these. Or like right there. So y'all can see it, bro. Like, I'm really trying to go up this year. So we gonna keep these reactions coming.
Press the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face. Now, it's time for the star topic. When you're doing something illegal, you know you can't do it in plain sight. We all know that drug smugglers can be quite inventive, but some are just on an entirely new level. A smuggling ring managed to import 1,000 kilograms, or 2,220 pounds, of drugs into the United States by stuffing them into car tires, batteries, and bumpers. Fortunately, they were caught. How do you think US Border Patrol found the drugs? Comment down below with the hashtag #StarTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. With that said,
I think I don't know. I honestly don't know. How the fuck would you know that shit is in a tire though? Put that in the comment section. How do you, like, how would you know that that shit is in a tire? Put that shit in the comment section. I want to see what, let me see if I have some 5,000 IQ members in this freaking jump, bro. I want to see.
Instead, let's keep things moving. Number 14. Gold inside soap. While we wouldn't call these people the smartest smugglers in history, they actually did a pretty good job of hiding gold they shouldn't have had, or should have at least declared. But you just can't beat airport officials who are always on the lookout for people trying to smuggle things into or out of a country. At a Mangalore International Airport, customs officials seized gold granules worth around $325 that a passenger had concealed inside a bottle of chocolate syrup and 4 soap bars. He had arrived at the airport early in the morning on an Air India Express flight from Dubai. After the discovery, he was arrested. The same thing happened to another man, but on a much larger scale. Customs officers discovered more than $50,000.
I mean, he stuffed it on soap. If I was this dude and you're traveling, I would not put it on the soap. You get me? Like, I'm pretty sure they have bottles of soap. You can at least take the joint and put it inside the bottle of soap more than a bar of soap, if you get what I'm saying.
Dollars worth of gold inside soap at the Tiruchirappalli International Airport in Tamil Nadu.
Nah, he wasn't smart for that one, I ain't
The
gonna
smugglers had gone to great effort to hollow out the soap carefully, then formed gold pouches wrapped in black plastic to fill in the gaps. They were then put back in their packaging so that no one would be any the wiser. But they were wise, and that man would have also been arrested for his smuggling efforts. Number 13. Cash smuggling. Have you ever watched Border Wars on National Geographic? This show is proof that anyone can be a smuggler, even a family. In one episode, they showed a family who looked every bit as innocent as you would expect a family to look. But they weren't innocent at all. Instead, they were smuggling a massive amount of cartel cash. A husband, wife, and 3 children pull up to the border crossing in a white SUV. They say they've been in the United States for around an hour and were shopping for school supplies.
¿Cruzaron por acá? Sí, aquí. Armas, municiones.
Their story seems to check out until the border workers noticed scratching on the trunk and tampering around the windshield wipers. Because the car is new and the scratches look out of place, they decide to investigate further. Upon opening the hood, they notice a panel at the back that appears to be a wall. By bending it open, they discovered 26 packages containing at least $400,000. The border workers said they would then tow the car away into the seizure lot for further checks and spend the next 5 or 6 hours counting the money.
Oh my
Number
gosh,
12.
bro.
Drone smugglers caught on camera. It goes without saying that prison isn't gonna be a fun time.
Nigga, you know what you can do with $400,000? $400,000. But that's cartel money, bro. That's the one thing as a human being I will never fuck with is the cartel and the gangs. I am not in no gang. I am in nothing. I am a regular ass nigga that goes to work and comes home to my apartment, as y'all can see. I'm in my apartment all day, all the time. If I'm not out with my guys, I'm at home, bruh. Simple.
Don't have the freedom to do anything you please. So some criminals get creative with how they attempt to smuggle contraband into the prison's 4 walls. Corrections officers expect this though, so they are always on guard. In 2017, the Ministry of Justice released footage showing a gang using a drone to deliver contraband items to the tune of between 600,000 and 1 million pounds into the prison. Craig Hickenbottom, the ringleader, organized everything from behind bars. As a result of his...
Wait, I'm not even surprised. This is something that a lot of people expect it to happen. Now listen, these drones can carry a good amount of weight. These drones can carry a good amount of weight. So for people to fly that shit into the jail and shit, this is something people... I'm waiting for the day wherein they say there's prisoners on the yard and a freaking helicopter lands on the freaking yard and shit. That's what I'm waiting for.
His actions, he was given an extra 7 years and 2 months in prison. The footage shows 2 people climbing the fence with a yellow bag and a drone. They then proceed to strap the cargo with fishing line to the drone. They flew it from a nearby field over a hedge and into the prison grounds. They were caught on camera several times, taking in items like weapons, drugs, phones, and even a Freeview box so the prisoners could catch up on their favorite shows. Cameras inside the prison showed a ringleader with an improvised hook. With it, he caught the line attached to the drone to bring in the goodies. According to the officer that caught them, the ringleader had organized at least 50 flights. Number 11.
50 flights? 50 flights and y'all niggas didn't even go. Yo, nah,
Snakes
bro.
taped to smuggler's body. It's not just cash, drugs, and gold that get smuggled from one place to another. It can also be animals. A 22-year-old Norwegian man had been pulled aside for a spot check, and customs officers noticed a tarantula casually cruising around one of his bags. That was a red flag for the customs officers, who pulled the man aside to carry out a more thorough check. They may have expected a few more spiders, but they discovered a whole lot more than that. Instead, the man had 14...
Bro, first off, I do not even like spiders, so for us, are you there, my nigga? To crawl... Hi! Nah, bro. Ain't no way, my nigga. Type shit, nah, bro. Fuck that.
Non-venomous royal pythons rolled up in socks and taped around his torso. But that wasn't all. Each of his legs had small tins strapped to them, each containing a single albino leopard gecko. Before being able to leave the town of Kristiansand after arriving from Denmark by ferry, the man was arrested. Unfortunately, animal smuggling is all too common, particularly in Norway. There are many prohibited species of animals, so people attempt to bring them in from other countries in some unique ways. We can't imagine this guy got off too lightly. Number 10.
Nah, bro.
Man in wife's suitcase. Jail sentences can be tough on families. While you're outside living your life, your loved one is locked up with very few things to keep them entertained or happy. But if there's one thing you shouldn't do, it's try and smuggle them out. After all, they do the crime, they do the time. Maria Del Mar Arjona was a pregnant 19-year-old woman whose husband was serving a 20-year jail sentence for various crimes at a Chetumal prison. On a conjugal visit, she took a large suitcase with her, which initially didn't raise any suspicions. After all, she was staying with him, so she needed clothes, right? But as she went to leave...
Wait. Oh, okay.
Guards noticed that she was struggling with her suitcase a bit. It seemed heavier and more awkward on its wheels. The guards also noted that Maria seemed a little nervous. If you were just carrying your clothing, that probably wouldn't be the case.
Facts.
Before she could leave the main doors, she was stopped. Inside her bag was her husband, who was just wearing his socks and underpants. He was promptly sent back to his cell, and we're gonna take a guess here and say those conjugal visits were no longer allowed. Number 9. Man inside car seat.
What
Border
the
officers
fuck?
have to be at their very best at any time of the day or night. If they aren't, they may just miss some of the crazy ways that people try and smuggle goods and people over the border. In March, an 18-year-old
What the
U.S.
fuck?
citizen was stopped at the Calexico West port entry at around 1 a.m. in a black Mitsubishi. Something must have seemed off to officers because they sent the driver and her vehicle for further inspection. On the surface, nothing seemed amiss. She was crossing the border and was the sole occupant in the car. But once the border officers got the canine team involved, they quickly realized that wasn't the case at all. The dogs were particularly interested in the rear seat. Underneath underneath the seat cushions in a compartment that they described as non-factory was a 48-year-old Mexican national. He was taken into custody at the Imperial County Jail, and the woman was awaiting criminal proceedings. According to the CBP Director of Field Operations for San Diego, Pete Flores, their national security mission was to protect the American homeland from threats. He said this was an example of inhumane tactics used to circumvent our laws. Number 8. Drugs in car seat. Drugs continue to be a massive problem around the world, so border patrols do their best to stop them from being...
Bro, people are... What the fuck? Bro, I'm just gonna say this right now. I feel like everybody deserves a chance in life. You know, like I said, not a lot of people got what a lot of people have, but like sometimes, bro, I will give some people chances, bro, in life, because you feel me? Like, not everybody has that opportunity to, like I said, go to school and go get an education and like, you feel me? It's like a lot of shit, bro. It's a lot of shit. Not a lot of people got what a lot of people got, but at the end of the day, bro, you gotta think like, all right, so this person don't got what I got. You know, like give somebody a chance, bro. Like that's what I'm just saying.
Smuggled from one country into it.
Instead of locking these niggas up, see what their profession is. Donald Trump wanted to build a border. He wanted to build a border against like Mexico and the United States. That's a perfect job opportunity. Wherever, if the border stops somewhere or something like that, or if there's a bridge, you feel me? Or it's a lot of things you can do, bro. It's a lot of jobs out there that you can, like, I'm just saying, bro, like, it's a lot of jobs you can do. Like I said, building a bridge, completely doing the wall or putting concrete on the wall and doing some shit wherein, you feel me? Like, give them a chance, bro. Like, at least, like, give them, if it's not $5 or $10 an hour, give them something so when they go back to their country, they have a little bit of something to feed their country or to feed their loved ones and shit like that. I'm just saying, bro.
Another, it's their eye for detail that led them to uncover around $200,000 worth of drugs hidden inside a car seat. In 2017, border officers had stopped a vehicle at
hold on. A car seat is crazy. A car seat is
around
crazy.
9 a.m. at the El Centro border. While they were inspecting it, the K9 unit alerted officers that something was amiss. The driver, aged 42, was requested to undergo a secondary inspection. That was when they managed to find 5 sealed packages of drugs in the vehicle's rear passenger seats.
Oh, shit.
I wonder if it's gonna be cocaine.
In total, there were around 12.5 pounds of drugs with a street value of close to $200,000. The driver of the vehicle was a Mexican citizen, and they were turned over to the Drug Enforcement Administration along with the narcotics and vehicle. Prior to that discovery, border officers at the El Centro sector border had seized hundreds of pounds of drugs in a single year. No matter how well these smart smugglers think they've hidden things, border officers almost always find them.
But we gotta be realistic, bro. The more you, like, once these niggas get caught, you gotta realize, bro, they get more smarter to do smarter and better things. So, like, I'm just saying.
7. Phones strapped to a body.
Nah, phones, yo. Nah, phones is legitimately crazy.
A lot of things are banned in China, like violent video games,
in China,
fireworks, and
wait, phones is banned in China?
Some books, like Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. But do you know what else is banned? The act of smuggling phones. Phones and electronics tend to be far more expensive in mainland China than in regions nearby like Hong Kong. So to save a few bucks,
I ain't gonna lie, I wanna visit Hong Kong. That's gonna be on my checklist this year.
Some people hire people to smuggle electronics in from outside of mainland China, or they do it themselves. They can then avoid paying import tax and sell them for a profit. But sometimes, people who do that get caught. In 2015, a man was arrested at China's border with a whopping 94 iPhones strapped to his body. He had used plastic bags and tape to strap 6 and 6 plus Apple iPhones to his torso, calves, thighs, and crotch. Apparently, officials had noticed he was walking funny and stopped him. They then seized.
Of course, my nigga, you got the joint strapped like this, so you gonna be walking on some like a penguin or some shit.
Seized the phones and held the man in custody. You'd be walking funny too if you had nearly 100 phones attached to your body. Sometimes it's hard enough trying to carry around one.
Imagine if that nigga got a pee, bro. Imagine how much, you know, like how you gotta pee like real quick. And then you gotta, and then that nigga got all that shit, and then he gonna have to take one layer at a time trying to, nah, bro.
Number 6.
Nah.
Live hummingbirds in trousers. If you've ever sat next to a nervous flyer, you would notice they tend to fidget, sweat, and keep an eye on the closest exit. But if you happen to see a Dutch traveler moving around in his seat back in 2011, then that wasn't why he was fidgeting. He had live hummingbirds in his pants. Yeah, that's right, birds in his pants. Authorities noticed that the man was acting suspiciously. You would be too if you were carrying more than just your luggage. French customs officers then detained him at the Rochambeau airport in Cayenne, French Guiana. When they held the man aside, they found over a dozen live hummingbirds wrapped up in pouches that he had sewn into the front of his pants. The little parcels were secured in place with cloth tape to stop the birds from flitting about while in his pants. But we can only imagine that those beats could have done a number on his legs. They didn't.
Bruh, that is legitimately crazy. Hummingbirds? What?
Appear to have been sedated during the flight, but the birds seemed to be alive. Apparently, this wasn't their first rodeo either. He had been convicted before for smuggling hummingbirds. It's unknown whether he was sentenced this time around, but we can only imagine that would have been the likely outcome. Number 5.
Imagine you're in a plane with this nigga, and all you just hear the birds and shit. I mean, those birds, those look like woodpeckers or some shit. I don't know, bro. I don't know nothing about birds, though.
Truckload of ammo. In the southernmost city of Texas, Brownsville, stolen cars are often used for smuggling contraband. So there's a special investigations unit set up for car thefts and narcotics to investigate reports of vehicles being used in smuggling activities.
Our unit, special investigations,
as always, you should. Bro, I think, like, bro, Texas is like I don't know, bro.
Primarily auto theft and narcotics.
In one particular case, officers inspect a suspicious pickup truck in a lot that they suspect will be exported to Mexico. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary pickup truck, but something is hiding within it that they possibly weren't expecting. The canine unit alerts them to something around the truck bed area. They notice that the tailgate is welded shut and the bed liner has been altered. The base of the liner isn't flat and there are loose and new-looking bolts keeping it in place. Once they remove the liner, they find thousands of loose ammunition, as well as magazines and a few guns. The truck bed is about 3 inches deep with loose ammo. The officers definitely have their work cut out for them, as they have to count each piece of ammo and separate it into the various sizes. While it is a massive haul, they say it's a mere fraction of what people attempt to smuggle into and out of the US. Number 4. Man dresses as...
Did they count how many? Did they count how many number of ammo was that? That looked like a lot of AR. That looked like a lot of, bro. That looked like just way too much work, bro. I be feeling bad for these niggas. Man dressed as a cardio. Hey, yo.
As car seat. While not smuggling per se, this is a hilarious attempt at hiding a person so a vehicle can look like it's driving itself. A man dresses as a car seat and other drivers and pedestrians are confused about whether the van's driving itself. The goal of this experiment is to gather research for autonomous vehicles. The man behind the wheel wants to get an idea of how people respond to driverless vehicles. What immediately became apparent is that when the vehicle stops at pedestrian crossings, some give the vehicle a wave to thank it for stopping. They don't notice that there isn't anyone in it. The Ford has two white lights at the front that mean different things. When it's moving side to side, that means the car will stop. If it starts blinking, it means it's gonna start up again. Autonomous vehicle manufacturers want to create an international language that shows people what a car's planning on doing so they can plan their next moves accordingly. Researchers who traveled around in these self-driving vehicles collected about 150 hours and 1,800 miles of data to review at a later date. Number 3. Smugglers leave Jeep on border fence. Illegal border crossings are nothing unusual, but what is unusual is this method for trying to cross a border, using a vehicle and ramps. In 2012,
I am not gonna lie, that is smart. The way you see how they built the ramp, bro, that is smart. They just,
suspected smugglers had set up ramps at the US-Mexico border in the southeast corner of California by the Imperial Sand Dunes. They then attempted to drive an SUV.
I ain't gonna lie, that sand would have got to the Jeep and it would have been GG's. That sand is like quicksand. That sand is like quicksand. It would have been GG's.
Over the 14-foot border fence using those ramps. As you can imagine, it didn't go to plan. They got the Jeep stuck at the very top of the barrier. Agents at the border spotted the vehicle and noticed two smugglers trying to free it when they approached. They abandoned the car and ran into Mexico to escape being caught. The border officials said the Jeep was empty, but it was likely filled with contraband before it got stuck on the fence. Believe it or not, this isn't the first time people have tried to drive over the border wall. It had been successfully pulled off the year before, but the vehicle's occupants were immediately captured. Given the lack of vegetation around this part of the border, it's not exactly easy to camouflage a massive vehicle climbing the border wall. You're just bound to get caught, so we wouldn't call these smugglers very smart. Number 2.
But they could have probably made it
drugs in fake belly. Smugglers are getting smarter and smarter. We hate to think just how many contraband items have been missed due to how many unique methods they have for hiding them. However, just as smugglers are getting smarter, so too are airport workers and border officers.
La cual pretendía sacar 2 kilos de cocaína.
Imagine faking your pregnancy.
Aeropuerto Internacional El Dorado.
In September 2020, a pregnant Canadian citizen was lining up for a routine pat-down as she attempted to leave Colombia. But as it turns out, she wasn't pregnant at all. The customs officer noticed how her belly felt cold and hard, which is not what you would expect with skin and warm blood. It wasn't a baby in there, it was 4 pounds of drugs. Amazingly, the stomach looked real. When she lifted her shirt, it was a skin-colored stomach with a belly button and stretch lines where you would expect to see them on a real pregnant mother-to-be. Even viewing her side on with her shirt up in the video footage, she still looks like a pregnant woman, not a drug smuggler. Have they got it wrong? Not at all. The baby belly was silicone, and it was strapped to her body with packages of drugs hidden inside. Number 1.
That's crazy, bruh.
Drugs in implants. It's amazing the lengths that smugglers will go to for a payday. Even going so far as to have surgical procedures to hide the drugs inside their body. Airport security always go the extra mile with passengers arriving from Bogota, Colombia. This destination is known for its drug trafficking, so many smugglers go to extreme lengths to bring drugs back with them. One woman probably went a little further than most by smuggling drugs inside her implants. After an airport security check in Spain,
Where do you guys think she hid the drugs? Let me know in the comment section.
The woman's story wasn't adding up. She was offering vague answers, so they knew they had to find out more. They immediately thought she might be carrying drugs in her luggage or on her body. They were wrong. She was carrying them in her body. After being patted down by a female officer, they discovered bandages with blood on them underneath her. These were covering incisions. The woman said she had new implants and they must not have healed properly. Police weren't convinced, and she was taken to a hospital where a medical team removed bags from each, which contained 3 pounds of drugs worth around $35,000.
I think she did the implant on her titties, bro, or some shit.
Pound. These smugglers clearly have a lot of smarts, which makes you wonder why they didn't use them for good, like a lawyer, doctor, or stockbroker. Which instance of smuggling surprised?
My boy, listen, them niggas is gonna be smarter. Them niggas gonna get smarter and smarter as they go, bro. Like, eventually, them niggas gonna be gods. Or them niggas is gods, because I admire their work. I am not going to lie. Thinking of something to freaking. If you was a drug smuggler, where would you hide it? Put it in the comment section, bro. Put that shit in the comment section. Let me see if I have some really smart people in my community. I want to see, like, you feel me? But this is the end of the reaction. Please like and subscribe, bro. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to make this shit work right now. Yeah. See you in the next video. I love y'all. Y'all have a good day. And we're just getting started with the new year. So I'm gonna see you in the next vid.
I make a call. I make a call and swore. Nigga, you can check the score.